I think somewhere along the way, a lot of us started believing that becoming that girl meant constantly exhausting ourselves. Like if you weren't waking up at 5 a.m. every day, working out every morning, journaling perfectly, eating healthy 24/7, then somehow you were failing. And honestly, I fell into that mindset too, because social media makes self-improvement look so pretty. Clean rooms, the aesthetic routines, the productive mornings, the girls who somehow have their entire lives together at 16 years old. And don't get me wrong, I love glow up content. I love routines, I love productivity, I love self-improvement, I love being a better version of myself, but I think at some point I stopped trying to improve my life and started trying to fix myself. And there's a difference, because improving your life should make you feel happier, not constantly exhausted. Okay, so lately I've been thinking a lot about burnout because I feel like people don't really talk about it enough, especially as teenagers. Like, everybody talks about discipline and productivity and becoming successful and glowing up, but no one really talks about what happens when you start feeling guilty for resting. And I also got to a point where every time I relaxed, I felt like I was doing something. Like if I watched a show for too long, or stayed in bed a little extra, or didn't have a proper productive day, I'd immediately start thinking that, OMG, I'm so lazy. And that's such a horrible mindset to have, because why are we acting like being a human is a bad thing? Why are we acting like resting means failing? I realized I was constantly chasing this version of myself that was perfect routine, perfect mindset, perfect body, perfect productivity, perfect confidence. And honestly, trying to be her started making me feel miserable. Not because self-improvement is bad, but because I was trying to become a machine instead of a person. I think burnout is so sneaky sometimes, because for me it doesn't look dramatic. It looks like feeling overwhelmed by tiny tasks. It looked like staring at my to-do list and suddenly not wanting to do anything. It looked like losing motivation for things I normally love. It looked like comparing myself to people online and feeling behind. It looked like constantly feeling pressure to do more. And the craziest part, I thought the solution was to punish myself even more. Like, I genuinely convinced myself that if I just became more disciplined, more productive, more motivated, then I'd finally feel good enough. But the truth is, you cannot hate yourself into becoming your dream self. I also think social media has completely changed the way how we see rest, because now it feels like every second of your day has to be useful. Like, if you're not productive, then you should be learning a new skill. If you're resting, you should at least be healing. If you're having fun, it somehow still has to become content. And it gets exhausting, like genuinely exhausting. Sometimes I catch myself feeling guilty for doing absolutely normal things. And I'm slowly realizing that I do not want to spend my teenage years constantly trying to be optimizing myself. I don't want every moment of my life to feel like a project. I want to enjoy my life. I want to laugh with my friends. I want to have lazy days. I want to rest without overthinking it. I want to create memories instead of constantly trying to become better. Because what's the point of building your dream life if you're too exhausted to enjoy it? So lately, instead of trying to completely change my life entirely overnight, I've been focusing on smaller things, like cleaning my room because it makes me feel a lot calmer, drinking more water, trying to sleep on time or even earlier, spending more time with God, journaling when my thoughts feel too loud, going outside more, taking breaks from social media when I stop comparing myself too much, posting content that genuinely makes me feel real instead of looking perfect online. And honestly, those smaller habits have helped me so much more than forcing myself into impossible routines, because I'm starting to realize that consistency built gently lasts longer than motivation built through pressure. I think one of the biggest things I've learned right now is that becoming her doesn't actually mean becoming a completely different person. It's not about suddenly waking up perfect. It's not about fixing every flaw. It's not about becoming somebody else. I think becoming her is actually just learning how to take care of yourself properly, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. It's learning how to speak to yourself and learning balance. It's learning discipline without destroying yourself in the process. It's learning that growth can be soft too, can be real. And honestly, I think soft growth is the kind that lasts. So, if you've been feeling overwhelmed lately, or behind, or exhausted from constantly trying to improve yourself, this is your reminder reminder you're allowed to slow down, you're allowed to rest, you're allowed to grow slowly. And your worth is not based how productive you were today. I still want to become the best version of myself. I still have goals. I still want to grow. I still want to glow up. But I'm trying to learn how to do it without losing myself in the process. So yeah, this is me trying to become a her without burning out.